In every age, poets, mystics, and lovers have spoken of a flame that never dies, a presence that breathes beneath the rise and fall of worlds. They have called it many names: truth, beauty, the beloved, the real. Yet all these words point toward the same silent mystery, the eternal pulse of love that sustains creation from within. This love is not an emotion that flickers and fades. It is the foundation of being itself, the hidden fire that burns without smoke, the unspoken heartbeat of existence. To glimpse this love is to awaken from the illusion of separation, to see that everything that moves, shines, or breathes is an expression of the same boundless presence. The journey of the soul, from its first cry of longing to its final surrender, is nothing but the return to this eternal flame, the recognition that what it sought has always been within. Here, in the stillness of the heart, love ceases to be a word and becomes the very air of our awareness. The flame that burns without smoke is not of this world. It is not made of heat or light as you know them, nor does it consume the things it touches. It is the fire of awareness itself, the first emanation of being, the silent witness behind all that arises. Before the stars were scattered like sparks across the endless dark, before time uncoiled its thread, this flame was. It is not born, and it will not die. It neither brightens nor dims, for it does not belong to the realm of opposites. It is the pure radiance of the real, shining through every form yet remaining untouched by any of them. When the mystics speak of light, they are not speaking of something that can be seen with the eyes. They speak of the inner illumination that knows the eyes themselves, the unseen awareness that allows sight to happen. You do not see this flame, for it is what sees through you. You do not find it, for it was never lost. It is closer than your breath, nearer than the pulse that moves through your veins, subtler than thought, yet more real than all that thought can grasp. It is the still center around which the worlds of becoming whirl endlessly, the secret lamp that burns behind the curtains of perception. This flame has no smoke because it leaves no trace. It does not wound, it does not consume, it does not cast shadows. Smoke is the sign of something destroyed, something turned to ash. But the flame of awareness destroys nothing, for it is already whole. It does not burn away illusion by force. Rather, its light makes illusion transparent. When you look into its silent fire, you see through the mirage of self and other, life and death, you and the world. You see that everything which seems to appear and disappear is but a shimmer upon the surface of this eternal radiance. The world dances as its reflection, and all forms are only waves upon its shining sea. It has no direction, no boundary, no center to define it. Yet it is the center of all centers, the hidden axis of existence. Every heart is an ember of this same fire, though covered by layers of forgetfulness. When a soul begins to remember, it feels warmth, a strange tenderness that rises without cause. That warmth is the flame stirring within, calling the being back to its source. The more one turns inward toward it, the clearer it becomes that this light is not personal. It is not my awareness or your awareness. It is the same sun shining through countless windows, the same ocean reflected in every drop. The windows may differ, but the light is one. To live from this flame is to awaken from the dream of separation. You begin to see that the mind's shadows, fear, desire, sorrow, pride, are only clouds passing across the unchanging sky of awareness. They cannot stain its purity. Even when you are lost in turmoil, the flame burns quietly beneath the surface, watching, waiting, undiminished. The moment you turn toward it, you realize it was never absent. You were simply facing away. It has always been your true home, your eternal witness, your secret heart. Every act of seeing, hearing, feeling, and thinking arises within this luminous field. You say, I see a tree, but what truly sees is the flame. You say, I feel love, but what truly feels is the same light recognizing itself through another form. This is why the mystics say that all love is divine love, because every touch of beauty is the flame knowing itself in reflection. The beloved, the song, the scent of the rose, the shimmer of morning light, all are veils woven of this radiance. All are gestures of the one flame revealing its endless faces. If you try to grasp it, it vanishes, for it cannot be possessed. If you try to name it, it slips beyond language, for it existed before words were born. The intellect cannot contain it, but the heart can rest in it. The heart is its altar, the breath its prayer, silence its scripture, and yet, even these are symbols, hints at what cannot be divided or described. The flame is not in the heart itself burns within the flame. When awareness awakens to itself, it recognizes that everything it once called outside within its own light. The stars, the oceans, the countless beings, all arise and dissolve within this infinite expanse of seeing. There is no inside or outside, no beginning or end, no path or arrival, only the endless radiance of being, playing as the world. The flame that burns without smoke has no need of fuel, for its essence is eternal. It feeds on its own knowing, and its light is the knowledge of itself. In every soul it whispers, I am, and every soul, when it truly listens, answers, you are, you said. All that exists is a mirror. Every leaf that trembles, every drop that falls, every breath drawn in silence is a reflection of the one gazing upon himself. The universe is not a collection of separate things, but a single face seen from countless angles. What you call creation is the divine looking into a mirror of his own being, and what you call perception is that same gaze arising through you. There is no distance between the seer and the seen, only the play of reflection, the shimmer of light upon light. The mirror of existence holds no image of its own, yet every image lives within it. It is the field in which all forms appear and vanish, yet it remains untouched, polished by the hands of love and awareness. When the heart becomes still, its surface clears. The dust of thought and desire settles, and the mirror reveals its nature. In its clarity, one perceives that all forms are but masks upon the face of the infinite. Every movement in time is a wave across its timeless surface. The stars that burn in the night, the tears that fall from longing, the laughter that breaks through sorrow, all these are glimmers of the same light bending through the prism of being. The mirror shows the world as duality, yet it holds only unity. The division between self and other, heaven and earth, lover and beloved, is the illusion of the reflection mistaking itself for reality. The mirror does not choose what it reflects. It receives everything equally, the radiance of dawn, the darkness of storm, the smile and the wound. It does not judge, it only reveals. Likewise, the heart that remembers its divine nature no longer clings or resists. It becomes a clear vessel through which the real may behold itself. When you look upon another being, you are looking into a facet of your own soul. Their joy and their pain are yours, for they arise from the same light. When the veil of self is lifted, every encounter becomes an act of recognition, the one greeting the one, the flame seeing its reflection in another flame. This is why beauty stirs the soul so deeply. It is not something added to the world, but the moment when the mirror clears enough for you to see the reflection of the eternal. The sunset that takes your breath away, the eyes that awaken longing, the song that moves you to tears, these are all mirrors in which the divine beholds its own perfection. The longing they awaken is not for the thing itself, but for what shines through it. Beauty is remembrance, and remembrance is the soul turning toward its source. But the mirror also shows distortion when it is unpolished. The ego, the sense of separateness, clouds the surface with smoke. When you identify with a single reflection calling at me, you forget the boundless expanse that holds it. The task of the seeker is not to create the reflection. But Toyu said, there are not two? This is the first secret of love, and the last. The lover and the beloved, the seeker and the sought, the heart that yearns and the one it yearns for, these are waves upon a single ocean, moving and returning within the same endless body of being. The illusion of two-ness is the dance through which the one comes to know itself. Love is the movement of the infinite toward its own reflection, the turning of the divine eye inward, the eternal embrace between mirror and light. What appears as desire is not a flaw or weakness. It is the pulse of the cosmos, the very rhythm of existence breathing through the human heart. Every cry for the beloved is the beloved calling to himself through another name, Another form. When you say, I love, you have already spoken a truth deeper than the self who utters it. For in that love, even if mixed with longing and pain, the walls of separation begin to soften. The heart remembers something ancient, something without beginning. It senses the silent unity beneath the thousand forms that clothe it. The lover thinks he moves toward the beloved, but in truth, it is the beloved who draws the lover inward, like gravity pulling a spark back to the sun. The journey of love is not a path between 2 points. It is the remembrance of the one who never left himself. Every meeting, every heartbreak, every moment of desire or fulfillment is a rehearsal of the great reunion. True love burns the illusion of I. The fire that awakens within the seeker is not a gentle warmth, but a consuming blaze. And yet what it consumes is not the soul, but the veil that hides it. The heart that enters this fire surrenders its boundaries, its claims, its small certainties. It steps naked into the unknown, where all that is false must fall away. This is the secret fire of annihilation spoken of by those who have crossed from selfhood into silence. It is not destruction in the worldly sense, but a transformation so complete that the one who emerges cannot say who he was or who he has become. The lover burns and finds that the ashes are made of light. The path of love begins with longing, but it ends in disappearance. The flame of yearning grows until it consumes the very one who yearns. The heart cries, I want you, and the divine whispers back, then be me. The separation between lover and beloved was only smoke in the mind, and when the smoke clears, only the flame remains. To burn in love is to see that there was never anyone apart from the fire itself. What seemed to be I and thou are but 2 tongues of the same light, twisting together in the wind of eternity. Surrender is not a gesture of defeat, but an awakening into wholeness. It is the soul laying down its weapons, the mind releasing its need to define, the body remembering its true rhythm in the pulse of existence. The one who surrenders is not diminished but revealed. What is lost is not identity, but illusion. What remains is not emptiness, but the fullness of the real, in the furnace of love. Every false attachment, every mask of ego, every fragment of resistance melts away until what stands before the fire is nothing but the flame itself. This annihilation is mercy. To the mind it feels like loss, but to the spirit it is liberation. The drop that trembles on the edge of the ocean fears dissolution, yet the moment it falls, it realizes it was never separate. It was the ocean dreaming of being small. The same is true of the self. It fears surrender because it believes it will end, but in truth, it only awakens to its vastness. The ego clings to form, to name, to the familiar outline of me, but the fire of love is patient. It burns softly at first, then deeper, until the heart itself opens like a rose into the infinite air. In this burning, pain and joy become indistinguishable. The lover no longer asks to be spared, for he has seen that every spark of suffering was only the beloved's touch, reshaping him into transparency. The fire that seems to destroy is the same fire that purifies. The more it burns, the clearer the soul becomes, until nothing remains to cast a shadow. This is why the mystics say, die before you die. For the death they speak of is not the end of life but the unveiling of truth. To die before dying is to be reborn as the flame itself, to see that the life you thought was yours has always belonged to the one who breathes through all. When surrender is complete, there is no longer a center that says, I love. Love simply moves, radiant and effortless, through all things. The lover becomes the instrument through which the universe sings to itself. Every heartbeat, every breath, every gesture is the beloved's own, expressed through a form that has forgotten separation. Such a being no longer seeks to possess or to be possessed. He loves as the sun shines, as the wind moves, as the river flows without reason, without demand, without end. The fire of annihilation leaves no residue of ownership, no shadow of pride. It reveals the naked essence of being, simple and vast. The one who has been burned by this flame does not speak of enlightenment or attainment, for there is no one left to claim them. Words become transparent, and silence becomes the only language that remains. The mind that once asked, Who am I?, now sees that the question itself was the last veil. There is no I apart from the one who asks, no answer apart from the asking. The fire does not extinguish, it expands. What was once confined within a name now glows through every atom of existence. The trees, the stones, the stars, all become mirrors of the same light. The lover Huayu said, "Love is not a feeling that comes and goes like a tide. It is the very ocean itself, the pulse that beats through the heart of existence. It is the hidden rhythm of every breath, the silent song beneath all creation. It does not depend on time, nor is it confined by form. Before the first dawn, before the first word was spoken, love was, and it continues to be the essence that sustains all things. It is the invisible thread that binds every atom to every other, the current that moves the galaxies, the stillness that dwells in the center of motion. Every act of being is love expressing itself through form. When the soul awakens to this truth, it no longer seeks love as something to be found or attained. It begins to recognize it as the ground from which all arises, the constant presence that has never departed. What you call the search for love is only the soul remembering what it has always been. The longing that stirs within you is not for another being, but for the recognition of the one that breathes through both. The beloved you seek in the outer world is a reflection of the eternal beloved within, the same presence that gazes through your eyes and listens through your silence. Love is the fragrance of the divine moving through the garden of creation. Every flower that blooms, every tear that falls, every act of kindness, every moment of awe, is love recognizing itself in countless forms. The sun's warmth upon the skin, the music of wine through trees, the vast quiet of night, all these are gestures of the same eternal heart speaking through the language of being. Even the pain of separation, even the ache of longing, are veiled expressions of love seeking to awaken itself. For in truth, nothing exists outside its embrace. When you look deeply into the world, you will see that love wears every face. It is the softness in the gaze of a stranger, the patience of the earth beneath your feet, the forgiveness that rises unbidden after sorrow. It is the silent companion walking beside every soul, guiding it gently toward remembrance. Though it appears as movement, its essence never moves. Though it seems to flow from one to another, it is always the same flame, endlessly reflecting itself through infinite mirrors. To see this is to realize that the lover and the beloved are but waves upon the same boundless sea. Love's eternity lies in its simplicity. It asks for nothing, for it already holds everything. It does not cling, because it knows nothing can be lost. It does not demand, because it knows all is already given. The mind cannot grasp it, for the mind lives in opposites, in having and not having, in beginning and end. Love transcends such boundaries, resting beyond reason, beyond possession, beyond identity. It is the pure awareness that looks out through all eyes, the single heartbeat echoing within every creature. To awaken to it is to awaken to the unity that underlies all difference, the still center around which the universe turns. Every form of life is a vessel for this same current. The stars burn because of it. The rivers run because of it. The heart beats because of it. You breathe not because you will it, but because love breathes through you. Every inhalation is the beloved entering, every exhalation the beloved returning. Between those breaths lies the silence where eternity dwells. When you rest there, you will see that you have never been apart, that love has always been the air you live within, unseen yet essential, changeless yet ever moving. Even death cannot touch it. When the forms of the world dissolve, when names fade and memories vanish, love remains untouched. It is the witness of birth and the witness of death, the timeless observer behind all cycles. The body may return to dust, but the flame continues, dancing in unseen realms, illuminating new faces, new lives, new dreams. The lover may vanish, but the loving never ceases. It moves on, infinite and self-renewing, finding new mirrors to reflect itself in endless play. Those who awaken to this truth no longer speak of love as something separate. They no longer say, "I love you" as a possession, but love is, and in that simple recognition, the world becomes transparent. Every sound becomes a hymn, every gesture a prayer, The walls between self and other dissolve, and what remains is the radiance of the one gazing at itself through countless eyes. The heart no longer asks to be filled, for it has become the sky itself, boundless, silent, and complete. Love was never born and will never die. It is the eternal presence, the first and final breath of existence, the unseen flame that burns in all hearts forever.